In August 2024, an unspeakable tragedy unfolded at R.G. Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, West Bengal. A place of healing turned into a crime scene, one that would shock the nation, sending ripples of fear and outrage across the country. Dr. Priya Mukherjee was a bright, ambitious 31-year-old trainee doctor. She had dedicated her life to medicine, sacrificing sleep, personal time, and even her health to fulfill her dream of saving lives. But the very institution where she worked, where she should have been safest, became the site of her brutal murder. On that fateful night, Dr. Priya had just completed an exhausting 36-hour shift. Her body was drained, her feet ached, but she remained steadfast in her duty. She had seen over 100 patients in the emergency ward that day, setting broken bones, stabilizing trauma victims, rushing between life and death decisions. Finally, at around 2:30 a.m., she stepped into an empty seminar room to rest. She barely had the strength to keep her eyes open. But just as she closed the door, a voice called out to her. It was Sanjay Roy, a 33-year-old police volunteer assigned to the hospital. He was supposed to protect her. Instead, he became her predator. Roy had been lurking in the hospital corridors, studying the movement of doctors and staff. He knew where the security cameras were. He knew which areas remained unsupervised, and he knew that Dr. Priya, exhausted and alone, would be an easy target. He approached her under the pretense of discussing a security issue. Trusting him, she followed. But as soon as she stepped into the deserted wing of the hospital, the nightmare began. What happened next was a horrific act of brutality. The walls that had heard the cries of newborns and the whispered prayers of hopeful families now bore witness to something monstrous. The very place meant to save lives became the setting for an unimaginable crime. By morning, the hospital was abuzz with activity. Doctors and nurses hurried through the halls, oblivious to the horror that had unfolded just hours before. It wasn't until a colleague went looking for Dr. Priya that the gruesome discovery was made. Her body was found in the seminar room, cold, silent, lifeless. Shock waves spread through the hospital like wildfire. How could this happen in a place meant for healing? Who had done this? The police launched an immediate investigation, combing through security footage. It didn't take long to identify the suspect. Roy had made a mistake. He had underestimated the hospital's surveillance. Though many cameras were poorly placed, one had caught him entering the restricted wing. Within hours, he was arrested. The evidence was damning. DNA samples, security footage, and testimonies all pointed to his guilt. But for Dr. Priya's parents, no justice could undo their loss. At a press conference, her mother, a retired schoolteacher, held up a photograph of her daughter. Her hands trembled as she spoke. She was supposed to heal others, not become a victim of this monstrous cruelty. Her father, unable to contain his grief, collapsed in tears. The pain in their voices echoed through the country. The nation was enraged. Protests erupted across India. Doctors, nurses, medical students, they all took to the streets, demanding justice, demanding change. Justice for Priya, they chanted. Protect our doctors. The case was taken to court, and after a swift but emotional trial, Sanjay Roy was found guilty. The judge sentenced him to life imprisonment, but for many it wasn't enough. Protesters called for the death penalty, arguing that a monster like Roy didn't deserve to walk this earth. Beyond the crime, this tragedy revealed an ugly truth. Hospitals in India, even major ones, lacked proper security. In 2019, after a similar incident, the West Bengal government had promised tighter security in hospitals. Metal detectors, stricter visitor access, better lighting. None of those promises were fully kept. Dr. Priya's murder wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a national failure. Doctors and nurses across India began demanding better security measures, 24/7 surveillance, restricted entry zones, emergency alarms. They argued that they shouldn't have to fear for their lives while saving others. As of now, changes are being promised again. But will they be implemented this time? Or will another tragedy force the nation to mourn yet again? Justice may have been served in the courtroom, but the trauma, the fear, and the loss still linger. The question remains, how many more lives must be lost before real change is made? Dr. Priya Mukherjee's name will never be forgotten, but will her death be a turning point, or just another case lost in time?